Hi Geeks, this is Jackie Cole,
Samantha Kuhn,
Jen Moynihan-Wynn,
Michelle Herr,
and Selena Roll. And when we're not meeting geeks at Columbia Harbor House, we're geeking on Walt Disney World with Curtis and the whole geekin' family.
Are you ready for a fun-filled hour of food favorites, resort hopping, and hanging out with Disney World geeks? It's now time to go geekin' on Walt Disney World. Here's our dad and co-host. Hollywood was impressed with his performance in crowd scenes at the Indiana Jones stunt show. He never misses an 11 a.m. margarita at the Mexican Pavilion, and Mike Wazowski is still raving about his performance as that guy over at Monsters, Inc. Laugh Floor. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Curtis Stone.
Hey, Disney World geeks. Welcome to episode 350 of the Geekin' on Walt Disney World podcast. Hey, this week, Wendy Fox interviews me for Podfather's Day. Lots of questions by our Geekin' family, digging into stories of the podcast, my favorite Disney World memories, and lots of really creative questions to get to know me better. If you're new to the podcast, let me tell you that I've started this podcast over 6 years ago with my daughter, Lindsay, and we started talking about Disney World trips. We brought on other Disney geeks to tell their trip stories, and before too long, I was amazed at the geeks we brought on. They were positive, caring, and boy, they are generous. And I found out, we call it Podfather's Day because it was Father's Day last weekend, and they surprised me with a Rodecaster Pro, at least enough cash to purchase. And by the way, I did put an order in for the Rodecaster Pro. I'm so excited. All week I have been looking at YouTube videos, trying to learn how to use this new piece of amazing podcasting equipment. When I get it in, it's on back order till July 2nd. I'm hoping it ships this coming week. Again, I can't wait to try it, and so I can bring you more awesome podcasts over the next years. As you can tell, we've built some amazing relationships with our listeners, and they continue to tell their stories. I'm so glad I've seen some people going down to Disney World. Well, and also to Universal Studios. I love when they tell their stories. I can't wait for them to come back and jump on a trip report with me. I do lots of trip reports, and we do roundtables with all of our Geekin' family. We'd love you to join the Geekin' family. We spend a lot of time on our private Facebook group, so become a member of the Geekin' family by joining our private Facebook group. And if you're ready to go to Disney World, we're independent Disney authorized travel agents with Fairy Tale Concierge, and we also book Universal Studios trips, so contact Mama, Auntie Judy, Jen Glambos, or EJ Cruz. We love being your travel guides, and we can help you with all kinds of things like booking your room, staying on phone for 3.5 hours in the evening. Oh boy, yes, it's been kind of rough. We help you with your fast passes though, your dining reservations. Again, just contact Mom and Auntie Judy. You can get them at the travelingtiaras@gmail.com. That's their email. And Jennifer and EJ, you can get a hold of them on their Facebook page. They're the Little Dole Whips. And I think I've interviewed over 150 people over the last 6 years for the podcast. It's fun to be on the other side of the interview. Thank you, Wendy, for doing a great job interviewing me. I think you're going to enjoy this. And thanks again for all the Geekin' family who sent in questions. And I hope you enjoy this chat with Wendy and me, all about my Disney experiences.
All right, well, Father's Day is coming up. So one of the things I had mentioned was we should really do a segment called Ask the Podfather for Father's Day. I asked geeks for questions, and they posted tons on Facebook, and I have them ready to ask you so we can hear all about you.
This is fun. I like being on the other side of an interview. I've done this a few times, but it's been a while.
Okay. Very first one was, when meeting someone for the very first time and they ask you, tell about yourself, how would you answer?
Well, I guess if you're in one of those, I go to a lot of meetings and I do get this a little bit. I guess you'd say, I have 3 kids and I have a wife and I'm a dad and all that kind of stuff. But I work as a application programmer developer in a financial company here in Connecticut. Been doing that for 20 plus years, but with the same company for about 15 years. And I have a podcast on Disney World that I started with my daughter 6 years ago. And that's usually the one that gets people to go, oh my gosh, that's quite impressive.
So that's when you go off on that.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Okay. So the rapid fire questions are meant to kind of see kind of what you're into. Here's what they are. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Texting or talking?
Ooh, talking.
Talking. Okay.
I can't do my thumbs that good, The texting is hard.
Yeah. But, some people like it because you can think a little bit before you respond.
Yeah, there's a place for it. A quick thing.
Cake or pie?
That's funny. There's a geeking story about cake. Mm-hmm. So if Mom and Judy are listening to this, they know I'm not going to say cake. Although you brought me a great cake there with the geeking logo on it that time you came over and did a last interview with us. That was fantastic. Yes. But my mom and actually my dad has been doing great pies. I have great memories of pies during the holidays. So I'm going to go with pies.
Okay. Early bird or night owl?
Well, that's an easy one. I have always been an early bird my whole entire life. Never been. I mean, I can do the night owl stuff, but primarily I love the mornings, and I talk about that a lot in the podcast.
Introvert or extrovert?
I've said this too before on the show. Yeah. People would be surprised, but I'm an introvert. I think I heard another podcaster talk about that, and I listened to his show. I learned about podcasting through his show, and he talked about this one time. And I think if I'm in a bunch of crowded people, extroverts gain energy from being in big crowds of people. And I certainly enjoy being in big crowds, and I built a community because I enjoy that, but I find it exhausting. And I do like my quiet time. I'm kind of an introspective, analytical kind of person. So I would consider myself an introvert, although I take great strides to be as extrovert as I can.
All right. Superhero or villain?
I love superheroes. Yeah. I like the good guys. I'm not a fan of the villains at all. I like to see them get beat, especially all those Disney movies. I enjoy that part of the film when they get beat.
All right. Beer or cocktail?
Well, that's easy too. I'm pretty much a beer guy. Always have been. I enjoy my beers down in Disney World. Although I do like that's place, probably the only place. Primarily, I try cocktails. It's kind of fun to do that when you go to the lounges in Disney World. But I'm primarily a beer guy for sure on a regular basis. Okay.
Curious or cautious?
I would say curious. And that was some of these are a little close. I wouldn't say I take big risks, although there are times when I go out on the edge. Like when you do a podcast, that's kind of being, that's not very cautious. But yeah, I think I enjoy doing the interviewing because I do have a curious. I think if you want to be a good interviewer, you got to be curious and dig into things. So I would say curious more.
Okay, I know a lot in the podcast. There's a lot of food talk. So this question is, if you could only eat one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Boy, I like a lot of different things. I was thinking it was close between a bunch of Italian food because I like that too. But I got to go with the barbecue stuff. I enjoy doing the barbecue. Well, I'm not all that exotic with my barbecue, but I enjoy the atmosphere of it too, and the whole charcoal thing of it. My ribs you hear me talk about that a lot in the podcast too. So I would go with a good American barbecue. That's why I'm so excited about the one at the American Pavilion now.
Yes, if we can get back there.
My favorite thing that I want to try when I get there. It's my must-do next time I go. But barbecue is my favorite.
What makes you laugh the most?
This was a tough. I'm glad you gave me these questions ahead of time because I had to really think about that. I love humor. I love funny stuff. I was thinking, I like silly kind of humor. I like movies that are kind of in the silly vein, like the Austin Powers and one of my favorites is Dumb and Dumber. But I like comedians. I listen on Sirius Radio. I like the full, stand-up comedians. So any good comedian, I can think of doing lots of belly laughs during those really talented comedians. So that's what I would say.
Okay. What is your proudest accomplishment?
Again, yeah, I had to really think about that. But I can remember when Mom and I have 3 kids. Now, we had 2, and we worked together. And I can remember we used to drop the 2 of them off at daycare, which was with my aunt. And I remember one time Mom says to me, when my 3rd one was on the way, she goes, "I don't think I'm going to be going back to work." And I went, "I know you're not going back to work," which is a frightening thing looking back some 25 years ago, something like that. My Benjamin is he 24 now, going to be 25 in September. But so to know that I would have to carry the whole burden of bringing in the finances to raise 3 kids and then to put them, all 3 of them, through college. So
yeah,
I think Mom worked, she did a little bit of part-time work, but not a whole lot during that whole time. So I'm pretty proud of the fact that I was able to financially, as a dad, cover the expenses and go to Disney World. And so I'm pretty proud of that. And then just getting through all of them, that was a big goal of mine, to get them through college. And I got them all 3 through college.
That's amazing.
Now I'm broke. I would say that's my biggest accomplishment. Being a dad too. This is Father's Day, right? So
yes, absolutely.
There's a lot that fail at that, so it's not all that easy.
Rob Madeary wants to know what your favorite hobby is outside of podcasting.
I have a lot of interests. I love music. I've always collected music. Now I don't have to do that so much with Spotify, although I have a vinyl collection here. I do like the barbecue. I mentioned that already. I've got a new one, Wendy. I'm looking at it here. Lindsay, she bought a small fish tank, about an 8-gallon fish tank. I had one as a kid. I always enjoyed that hobby of keeping fish. She had 2 betta fish that died, and then she said, "I'm not going to do this anymore. You want my tank?" And I said, "Yeah." And I started getting into it. So for Father's Day, Lindsay, she always asks me at holidays what I want.
Yeah.
And I said, "You know what? I want to get a nice fish tank, a bigger one." So I'm really excited right now to get into the aquarium and collecting some fish, and I'm enjoying that. I'm set. I just bought a little stand here in my office. I rearranged my office just so I can get a nice spot for my fish tank. So that's my next hobby.
Okay. All right. Rob's got a whole bunch of more. Are you ready?
Yeah, Rob's great.
He wants the top 5 bands, movies, and shows or cartoons.
All right. I should have wrote some of these down. But bands. I've got, like I said, I like a lot of music. I'm probably going to do more than 5 because I was thinking, I don't know if I can do it. But Bruce Springsteen was a great one of mine growing up. I got to give some respect to Bruce Springsteen, although his later stuff, I'm not more of the older stuff for sure. The Allman Brothers Band is I like some of the jam bands, and I'm wearing my Grateful Dead t-shirt. So
nice.
that's 3. And on my playlist right now is kind of like summer, beachy, country kind of music, like Jimmy Buffett, and even some reggae with Bob Marley. I got into Bob Marley on my honeymoon down in Jamaica. So there's 5. I like Neil Young and some other folks too, but there's a good group of 5.
Okay.
The Beatles. I should have been the Beatles. I like the Beatles too.
You could say more than 5.
There you go. I didn't want to leave out some. So. There's so many. Yeah.
All right. What about movies?
Movies. Yeah. So I mentioned Dumb and Dumber. I think that's one of my. I've always said that's like my favorite. That is really strange. Probably that's really weird. But I like comedies. But I just think that movie just has laugh after laugh. We quote from that movie all the time. Then I think of something that made a real impact on me, like Rocky. Mm-hmm. I really liked Rocky. That movie. These are movies that'll come on and I will just always watch. I've always liked the Rocky, and the whole series of Rocky movies are really good. I took Ben to one of them, and I took him to see Creed, which is, I don't know what number, 7 or 8 or something of that series. Yeah. He's like, I said to him after, he goes, "That was just so good." I said, "Ben, did you ever see the first one?" He goes, "No." I said, "You're kidding me. You never saw the first Rocky movie?" What have I done as a father? So there's 2 I think are really stick out to me. Jaws, huge impact.
Yeah.
I could not go in the pool, never mind in the ocean, after seeing that movie. Although I'm kind of not into horror movies as much.
That was iconic. Jaws is
Yeah.
more than just a horror movie.
Exactly. Yeah. Steven Spielberg's first, just amazing movie. I'm going to count this one as a movie, although it's kind of a mini series, and maybe you could throw Saving Private Ryan I love the historical kinds of movies like that. So I would throw The Band of Brothers with, that's the story of the 101st Airborne, the Easy Company. Fascinated with World War II kinds of movies like that. I just had another one pop in my head. I was thinking of Shawshank Redemption, which is another really, I don't know, that movie always kind of impactfully, even as I think of, there's something in that movie that happens, just the way that he worked at digging that hole out of the prison for 20 years with a little pitchfork or a little rock hammer. And that persistency has always stuck to me as a theme. So yeah, is that 5? I think I got 5.
Yeah. No Star Wars.
No, I wasn't. I think I like it even maybe a little more now. I mean, it was my generation. I liked it. I'm not big science fiction as much, quite honestly. But I do. I mean, I love the Star Wars. I wouldn't put it up there with the top 5, though. Okay.
What about shows? Top 5 shows or shows or cartoons?
Like television shows?
Yes.
I didn't think, I was just thinking, we were talking about funny. I love Seinfeld.
Yeah. That
is one of my favorite. Oh, boy, I didn't give that a whole lot of thought. What shows did I like? I like MASH. I think I watched, I'm thinking of those older shows that I really, really enjoyed. What's playing now? I mostly watch sports, to be honest with you. The Yankees.
Yes. If baseball ever starts up again, it's not looking good.
That's kind of, I was thinking of old shows like All in the Family.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I like some of those. I'm thinking back into when they really had a lot of great shows. Yeah.
70s.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Marissa Mars would like to know, what is your favorite non-Disney movie? And I think you just listed kind of 5 of those.
Yes.
One favorite, or they're all kind of up there?
Yeah. I think, I just gave you my top 5, so that kind of answers that question.
Okay. Jen Batchelder would like to know what your favorite song is from a Disney movie.
Bare Necessities. That's such a...
I think that was going to be the song.
You know me a little bit. I talk about my favorites a lot. So Jungle Book left an impression on me. Wendy, I can't believe I can remember this movie, but that movie came out in 1967. I was born in 1964. So I must have been 3 years old when I saw that movie at a theater. Matter of fact, in the town where I live right now, there's a nice, beautiful old time theater with a stage and that kind of thing. But I don't know why that movie really made an impact on me. I was just watching it on Disney Plus recently, but that song is such a happy, great, and it's got a great theme to it. So yeah, I like those kinds of songs. So yeah, I would say Bare Necessities.
Okay. So we had a lot of questions about the podcast itself. First of all, how did you decide to record a podcast? And did it meet your expectations of what you thought when you first started?
This is a great question. I love talking about the podcast. I'm sure some of you have heard my stories before, but so my whole Disney story, I went as an adult. I always wanted to go to Disney World as a kid, Mom and I both. And we never went as kids. We had friends, neighbors that would go and come back and tell us all about it. And of course, we grew up with Walt Disney and that kind of thing. But I also I talked about being able to raise my family. Well, I found this software called Lotus Software that was just kind of a niche, and they had a conference. I used to go to user groups, and I would learn, and I really enjoyed learning the software and getting an edge there. And they had a conference down in Disney World that I always wanted to go. Well, I joined this. I leave a company that I'd been working for since college for about 12 and a half years, kind of scared. And I show up, got a pretty big responsibility to be kind of the head person with this software at this company. And they asked me about a month in, someone couldn't go to the conference in Disney World. It's called Lotus Sphere, and asked if anyone wanted to go. I was in this kind of meeting I raised my hand like immediately, like, I want to go. I wasn't shy at all. And a lot of the rooms were sold out. I had to book a room down at downtown Disney. Mm-hmm. It's called the B now. I think it was called the Royal Plaza back then. It was pink. I mean, it was all pink. But when I ever walked onto that property, I was just amazed. I just was blown away from the very first start and taken back and thinking about my family. Oh my gosh, wait till I can take them here. It's going to be amazing. The conference was amazing. I was online. At that time, there was no Facebook or Twitter or any kind of social media. It was really bloggers. And I would read the blogs. I would get a lot of information from these guys. And I got a chance to meet the first time. I was kind of shy. My introvert. I was totally the introvert and I didn't meet anybody. I didn't hang out with anyone. I kind of just, learned and went to the conference. But the whole experience was amazing. I went to Hollywood Studios for the first time, which was MGM at the time. So I just have an amazing experience. Now I start meeting more of these people online and having conversations online with them. And then next year I get invited to one of their speaker events that's at the Big River Grill on Saturday. As people are arriving on a Saturday, the conference starts on a Sunday, sort of. They have some pre-stuff, but everyone's coming in. So on the boardwalk, they have this kind of meetup and everybody is so friendly. I mean, and these are like the top people in the industry. Definitely. They're the speakers that do the conference, independent contractors, really smart people, but such friendly people. And a couple of them had a podcast. Now, so this goes back to the beginning of podcasting when it was hard, 2004, 2005, something like that. There was one guy, Bruce, who kind of it was definitely an informal leader of the group, I would say. He did some open software sites and did some things in that area, but he had the podcast. And I can remember him taking me around, introducing me to people as if I was somebody. And I was not somebody. I was nobody. I was just an attendee. They were all kind of famous to me. But that podcast idea or having a blog or being an authority of some sort in something, maybe it would be in a technical area, always was in the back of my mind. And I started studying podcasting about 2 years before I started. So about 8 years ago now, I started listening about podcasts and getting the idea. So the idea of community and podcasting came from the Lotusphere conferences that I went early on at Disney World. Mm-hmm. And when I started to think, what would I do? I know if you're going to do this especially from listening to how to go about this, you got to be passionate about something. You can't put a show out and you got to be consistent with it. And you can't do it every week if you're not passionate about it. Mm-hmm. And so, I was trying to think of, in a way, I wanted to do a little side business too. I wanted to maybe do something where I could make a few dollars on the side. I always wanted to have a little entrepreneurial pursuit on the side. So I could never figure the two together. I was like, doing Disney World. Yeah, I could carry it, but I don't think there was any financial way I could, bring in money with that. But so anyways, 2 years go by and Lindsay says to me, are we going to do that podcast or what? Cause I was talking to her about it. Because I knew we talked about Disney World all the time. I really knew I could carry it with a passion. So that's how it pretty much started. What was the second part of that question was?
Did the podcast meet your expectations? I mean, 6 years later, thinking back to what you thought about when you were first starting it, and where you are now, did it meet your expectations?
That's a great question. Because when I looked at Disney, there were so many podcasts already. I'm like, what can I do? How am I going to build an audience? And who's going to ever listen to me? I think, again, advice that I listened to my online mentor at the time was, hey, if you get a couple people interacting with you, you got some listeners, they're engaging with you, just talk to them. Because just think, if you had, let's say you get 100 people and imagine them being in a room. In a room that could hold 100 people. So I think very early on, I don't want to say low expectations, but I always kind of spoke to that lower, I always acted as if we were a big podcast. So I didn't really have high expectations, I think. I just wanted to be consistent. I wanted to serve my audience. I wanted to have fun with it. I said, just have fun with the process and just enjoy the people that you're interacting with. And that formula, I think, has worked really well for me. I think it would for anyone starting out, especially now as it's a lot more popular even than 6 years ago. People not everyone even knew what a podcast was. It was just kind of still in its infancy.
Now, I know you talk a lot about your family on the podcast. How does your family, especially Margita, feel about the podcast, seeing how they're, in a way, a part of it every week?
Well, they always think I'm Looney Tunes anyway. So, yeah, I mean, Lindsay was a part of it. So obviously I think she enjoyed it when she was definitely on the mic with me and still does when she comes. And I think, well, Margita has, she's not like the person that would, I always ask her to come on and stuff, and she will eventually. She's kind of in the background all the time, or when we do the live recordings and that kind of thing. I think she definitely enjoys the community. Now that we've built the travel agency around it, she's working with listeners on a kind of daily basis. So I would say her and Judy definitely, they've built such a fun relationship and enjoy doing that together. So they get a lot. I'm kind of proud of that too. I've kind of built a business. I ended up building a business for her.
Well, Madison Pickle wanted to know, how has starting the group or the podcast impacted the way you vacation to Walt Disney World and the overall experience you have there, since you kind of go, it's a business, it's pleasure and it's business now, right?
Well, I don't think about it as business at all. I totally have fun. You know me, I talk about it all the time. I make a really strong effort to meet people. I create a instant messaging group or on Facebook. I try to find out and ask people if they're going to be there when I'm there. If it's, a trip that's outside of one of the meetups like we've been doing back in October. Even I think this past January, I ended up meeting up with like 30 listeners. I get a serious kick out of meeting people, and sometimes they get a kick out of meeting me too. So it's fun. It's a little bit like being semi-famous, and Margita would laugh. She knows I enjoy that. The little bit of notoriety. It's fun to be appreciated for what you do. I get some really fun interactions, and I enjoy that part.
So now you've done the podcast for 6 years, and you've had an episode every week.
Yeah.
In over 6 years. So Madison's question also was, are there ever times when you feel like the podcast work is too much? And if so, how do you get over that feeling?
It's amazing. Yeah. It was a must for me to put out a show every single week. I just made it a priority in my life. I schedule my time. I make sure I have a schedule that I get up every morning. I try to get up before 5 o'clock, somewhere in that 4 to 5 a.m. range. I've not been too good about that lately, by the way, but I do some exercise. I have a morning routine, and most of the times it includes editing the podcast, which is probably the hardest and most arduous part of the podcast. Mm-hmm. You're doing stuff like listening for ums and ahs and space and stuff like that.
Right.
It's not the best part of the podcast, but I tediously grind that out every morning. At least I try to. And then even Saturday and Sunday, I mean, I'm usually running a couple hours on Saturday and then 2 to 3 hours on a Sunday, finishing it up. So it is, if you think of all that extra time, it is, I don't know what drives. I mean, how do you know what drives you? I mean, I feel a commitment to the audience. I think I'm really proud of being one of these chartable lists, us in travel as being number 10 in travel, not just Disney. So, and I think part of that algorithm is your commitment and, the fact that you've been coming out with something every week for 6 years, which is that's kind of out of the ordinary. That's not ordinary in this podcasting space. A lot of people quit early. So yeah, I just made a commitment. I think if you want to do something, just, commit to it and do it and make it happen. I go to work every week. It's a lot easier because my kids are all grown up too. I told some folks, if I could never have done it when I was running around at night with the kids and all their sports and all, I have at least that luxury of time. Although, like I said, a lot of it is done before 7 a.m.
Yeah. Also, she wanted to know, do you ever experience writer's block or a lack of content idea? And if so, how do you combat that?
That's a great question. And I was surprised. I mean, I always enjoyed Lindsay and I getting on and talking and coming up with content ideas, which her question kind of is in that vein. If you're just trying to do content like that for the two of you, it can be difficult. I mean, how many trips do you have to talk about unless you live there, I suppose? But the other part, but I found a sweet spot. Well, two, I would say, that helped me. And it was about the time Lindsay was going to college and she was not having as much enthusiasm to do with me. Plus she had lots of work and stuff and stress and like that. And I said, well, I'm not stopping this. I'm going to find a way to keep doing this. Two things came to me, and the one was really easy, which is trip reports. So it works. The trip reports are great. I learned. I didn't think about it at first. You learn stuff as you go. But I got a lot of feedback from listeners just saying they enjoyed the trip reports, but well, do you get information from it? They're like, yeah, you get the information, you get it in fun stories, but it also helps me build the community because usually most people that come on the show become more interested in the show because they've been on the show. Right. And I know that. That's one of my techniques of building the community. Mm-hmm. And I like offering that to people if they have fun doing that. So the trip reports have been kind of the core of what I do. And now also I like doing the roundtables and to get ideas. Most of the time there's tricks to get ideas, but I've never had to use many of them because I'll just reach out to people and ask them, especially if I'm doing a roundtable, what should we do? Yeah. Like you did it for this show. You came up with the questions from the community. So if you ask the community, again, it's a community building thing. They're going to hear what they ask. So those are the two core things. If I had to, I mean, I could go into Facebook groups and look at questions that people are asking. I could find ideas on blogs. There's a lot of other techniques to do it. And sometimes I feel I'll have this moment like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do next? And especially during this time period where Disney's been down, It's the first time I'm feeling that pressure a little bit. But so far I have not had much of a problem. Come up with friends to help me from the community. And then, it's not been a problem.
Good. All right. Last podcast question is from Heather Stone Capel. Where do you hope to see the group and the podcast in 5 years and in 10 years?
That's a great question. I mean, as I thought of the group, I always want to focus, I said, like on the people that are interested and really pay them the most attention. The people who, like you, who are dedicated, who come on the show, people who go on the Facebook group and they chat with us there, they engage with us there. I've got the Patreon supporters. I have the travel clients. I've got a core of people. I want to say between 100 and 200 people that are become friends. I don't look at it as numbers like to build and download numbers. I mean, that's nice. I mean, to some extent you have to do that. But it's not a big thing for me. I think more like building those core, or what I would call super geek friends is really my thing. Like, I'm excited, things to look at when we do G3 in February. Mm-hmm. Could we hit, we had 60 people in that picture. Could we hit 100? I think that would be really cool. And that means that you run into more of these people during that event, a lot more people having fun. And so that's, as it grows, that's what I look for. That when I go, I just happen to have more people to have fun with. And my goal 5-10 years from now is as I get into that retirement age, I'm the type of person who doesn't ever want to retire. I always want to be doing something. So now with the travel agency, or if I start some other kind of side business, I always want to have something going on. So the business side of it will hopefully be my retirement business. But also I would love to be a snowbird and spend a lot of time. I want to get to a point where I have a place down in Florida that I can go to and spend more time closer to Disney World.
We're similar ages and we have similar aspirations in that area. So trying to find, what part of Florida would be good. So I'm with you there.
I think about that part of it a lot. I think the travel agency will grow. It's not the type of business that grows fast. So it's fun to think about 5-10 years and just do it slowly, do it right, take care of people, build friendships. I just think it'd be pretty cool that even now we have people in the parks when the parks were open. I got to qualify everything. We have people from the podcast in the parks every week. So I think about that. How cool would it be that I could go into the parks anytime and see a listener? So
Don't you think G3 kind of solidified a lot of the relationships, though, that you started building with the podcast? Because everyone knew each other online and Facebook, but that weekend, I think everyone kind of went in, like Margita was a little unsure of what's going to happen, and then ending up being such good friends after just a few days.
Wendy, that was a culmination of the original dream. When I talk about the community that was in that Lotus Sphere group, I mean, people were really close with each other. I mean, part of the reason that they were was because we were a niche software that other IT people kind of looked down on. They didn't understand the software, so when you have people that are kind of doing the same thing and know and have the same thoughts, or they're just alike. And geek people that love Disney World have some of those same qualities. So G3, this last one, was really the culmination of my original dream to build community, and that when we would get together in person, that it would have that family feel. And I mean, you saw me, I was emotional. That's the reason why. It was like, I'm looking in the crowd, and I've talked to or met so many of these people before, and they have, each person as I look in that crowd has a memory for me.
Yes. All right. So we're going to move on from podcast questions to Disney questions, because you'll not be surprised to know that the most amount of questions I got from the Facebook group were Disney questions.
Oh,
Starting with Madison Pickle wanted to know, how have your trips changed from your first visit to now?
Well, the first, I've, being of the age that I am, started going back with the kids 2001. The kids were 6, 8, and 10. We were just doing a dad's round table this past weekend, Wendy. And,
yeah.
These dads are all kind of in that part when I started, with the kids being that age.
Yeah.
And so, when you go with 3 kids, oh my gosh, I tell this story all the time. I don't know if you're familiar with ESPN. Across from ESPN, there's this amusement park. It's one of the oldest amusement parks in the country, if not the oldest, called Lake Compounds. Mom and I took the 3 kids when they were like 3, 5, and 7, would they be? They were just horrific that day. I can just remember just arguing the whole time and crying. And at one point at the end of the day, they were all on the ground flapping around screaming, like high-pitched screams. And I looked at Mom and said, we are not taking these kids anywhere. I don't know. Here it is, Father's Day. The patience of me, at times was not, but 3 kids,
everyone has those days.
Yeah. I tell everybody that, 2 kids is, you're a beginner. Wait till you have 3. That is, talk about chaotic. So, and I was excited to go to Disney World, as Mom was, if we had grown up there and known all about it, it would have been a different thing. But I wanted to make sure when the kids went, that Mom and I could have a good time too, and not be doing diapers and that kind of thing. But yeah, it was fun when the kids were little, though. We got a lot of great memories and family trips. We went one time with her sister and their 3 girls. We stayed at the Polynesian. So going with big families, and then transversing into when my kids have always loved going on vacation with me. I don't know. I must be a pretty good dad, I guess. I don't know. We've got a good relationship. I think we've enjoyed going to the beach. We go down to Wildwood, New Jersey. We did a lot of trips there too. A lot of big family trips. And I was surprised. We did the 25th wedding anniversary trip. I remember that one at Bay Lake Tower. And we just had we had the kids with the DVC, they were able to bring friends. So the boys, I know the boys, even my daughter Lindsay, she has a really good friend, Ellie, that she's brought too. So we've been able to do that. That helped out when they were teenagers, to bring a friend. But I think you would have asked them, I think they've always had fun with their parents going on vacation still. And even the last time, my oldest, who's now working, he's got his own house, he came down for a week 2 Januaries ago, and he said to Margita, he said, you know what? He wrote or called her later. He said, I really had a good time on vacation with you guys. We're like, wow, cool. Yeah. So the next step was be like you, maybe grandkids. My oldest son Harry's getting married in October. So,
well, my kids are older than yours, and they still come on vacation with us, and now we can do the grandkids, and that's so exciting, because when you are a parent and you bring your kids, you kind of have to still be the parent and make sure you still have bedtime and bath time and all that stuff. But when you're the grandparent, all that goes out the window. And I remember this last trip, I took my grandson without his parents, without my daughter. My daughter commented, "Does he have like a new toy every day?" And I'm like, "Well, I guess he did." And where my kids went, they were only allowed to get one toy
Right.
for the whole vacation. Pick out what your souvenir is.
Grandma's.
As a grandkid, you want that? Sure, you can have that. You want something else tomorrow? Sure, you can have that.
You spoil them. I know it. Yeah. So all these generations, that's the great thing about Disney World. I think it's a place where all generations can enjoy it, and you can enjoy all different parts of your time too.
Yeah. So Kevin Curtis Allen asked for your earliest Disney memory, which you just seemed to kind of had suggested there. And you also want to know your best Disney memory.
My best Disney memory. I've kind of talked about. So the 25th wedding anniversary, the family trips, the time we went to the Polynesian, I was just like amazed. We went the first two times we stayed at Disney downtown. It was downtown Disney. We stayed at the DoubleTree, and we stayed at the B, what's now the B. But then we went right to the Polynesian, and I just thought that ruined me. Oh my gosh!
You can't go back after that.
Well, I have, but it's turned out to be my favorite. The first time on DVC with the Bay Lake Tower, pretty special. And boy, that G3, maybe that's what he's alluding to, because that blew my mind in so many different levels. That was a lot of fun. Culmination of I don't know if you want to call it work. I don't know, all the commitment, the time commitment, suppose. But seeing all those people together, yeah.
Good. So now, Amy Rhodes wanted to know what your perfect Disney day would be like. What hotel, what restaurants, what rides, what end-of-the-day activities. And Marissa Mars asked a similar question, but with an unlimited budget. So what's your best day? One day?
So I wanted to combine all that. That's a good one. I'm glad you combined those, Wendy, because I was thinking the same thing. I've joked around probably with Kevin. I said, Kevin, if I hit the lottery, I'd buy a plane or rent a plane, and I'd pick up geeks all around the world and bring them down to the Polynesian, and I'd get them all to stay. Let's get like 100 people down at the Polynesian. Wouldn't that be fun? And maybe rent out those bungalows.
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
And club level, that whole side of the Polynesian, so that when I get up to get my coffee, I would run into Geeks all the time, and it'd just be a family fun party atmosphere at the Polynesian, which is the best resort to me on property. So that would be the way I'd start it all off. First, I'd be buying everybody a trip down to Disney World, so they'd be in a really good mood. I don't know, what's a good day? I mean, I think I would say, I love Magic Kingdom, but I think Epcot in the World Showcase is probably my favorite. So I would definitely do my World Showcase, and starting with my 11 a.m. margaritas. You can kind of get in there at 10:30 these days. So my whole.
You have to rope drop the margaritas.
Well, I guess I start getting a little anxious around 10 o'clock. I was like, keep looking at my watch. Is it time to go yet? We're done with Soarin' now. What else we got to do before we got to get over to the World Showcase? So I love doing that. I would hope that it was festival time and I could see, I would love to have one of those really good classic rock bands playing at the American Theater, so I could have that to look forward to. Maybe hit a couple of those shows. That's I love hitting all of the music acts and the different acts in World Showcase. So that's good. And it was we did that fireworks cruise. That was really fun.
That was fun.
Something like that. Or we did the Rose and Crown. It was a fireworks dinner. That was fantastic too. So something where you could, if money was no object, then I would rent. I did this one time for work, and we rented, I won a trip at work, and we had dinner at the American Pavilion inside, kind of where the singers sometimes get together there.
Right.
And then we had the fireworks show. That we had a cocktail party. I think it was at the Italy Pavilion. Okay. So it was like an exclusive. I would love to have that exclusive area for the fireworks. Yeah, and that have everybody together. So you see how my themes all come together?
I do. So Jackie Call asked a similar question. If you had to go into you can pick one park, which it sounds like you picked Epcot, one snack, one ride, and one drink. I'm assuming it's Epcot and the margarita, but maybe not. But one park, one snack, one ride, and one drink. What would it be?
Yeah, well, if it's Epcot, then I would do Soarin'. That's my favorite there. Although, yeah, it's tough between Magic Kingdom. Magic Kingdom is fun too, but we'll stick with that one. And the snack there at Epcot, I think, would be the cronut.
Ooh,
The hard thing about the cronut is that it doesn't open up till like 11 o'clock. To me, that's like it'd be a great breakfast snack.
Right.
At Epcot, that's one of the favorite ones that I have there. So I got the ride, you got my drinks, my nachos. Meal, I think my favorite meal in Epcot would be the German Pavilion buffet.
That's my husband's favorite.
Yeah, I think
It's a must do.
there's a lot of good ones there, but I'll have to go with my buffet, and Germany's one of my favorite ones.
Okay. Megan Thomas Dorsey said, how has visiting Disney changed, both good and bad, as your kids grow up and they go to college and move out on their own? How has that changed your experience with Disney?
Yeah, we were talking about this already a little bit. It's kind of fun with them being adults. People don't realize how much of an adult place Disney World is. And I think Lindsay we had some really great one-on-one time when she was doing her college program. And I would go down and just her and I can go. And that's kind of, I would say the times that we've been with the kids. Yeah, we've been there. We kind of split up though a lot when we go.
Right.
I'll like I said, I do that one-on-one time with Lindsay. And it is like an adult trip where it's food and drink. And so we enjoy it in that respect. And sometimes my boys will go off alone, or I've been off with them. We can go do stuff. So when they're older.
Do you meet up at dinner time then, or do you walk during the day?
Yeah. We'll meet up for a meal, lounges, that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's a lot different. Like I said, I've been fortunate that the kids actually enjoy going. When they were kids, I can remember, we're going over to Epcot. Nah, I don't want to go to Epcot. Like, when they're kids, they say and do things, and they don't appreciate it as much when they're kids. And that frustrates you as someone who's waited their whole life to go and paid for an immense amount for them to be there. Yes.
So Megan also asked, do you have any tips on keeping the magic alive as a family grows up?
Yeah, I think keeping your family together, I mean, spending time with your family and creating relationships with your kids, keeping relationships. There's a lot of families that are fighting all the time and they don't have relationships with their family. And that alone has been, I think, the reason why when we go on vacation, they actually want to go on vacation with us. Mm-hmm. I think Lindsay for sure loves and loves everything about Disney World, obviously. So there's no trying there. My older son, he enjoys the food and drink and stuff like that, like I do. And he likes going on the rides and stuff like that. I think they more or less just like being with us. I'm excited that my youngest son, Ben, loves Star Wars. So I think he will. Yeah. I really would like him to go. Yeah. I'd like to get him down there to see that. So
do you think DVC helps that? I mean, I think it does, having older kids.
Yeah.
Because you can stay all together.
Good point.
Yeah. Helps that at all? Or?
Definitely. Good point. I mean, we were able to bring friends without really adding too much to the cost of it. And that certainly, that absolutely helped. I thought it was really nice. I could offer, my boys had girlfriends that came. Yeah. Lindsay had a really close friend that I was able to bring because of DVC. That was very true.
Yeah. I mean, we bought into DVC very late, but I think that's why, because rather than having one hotel room, you can get a 2-bedroom suite and have 8 people in there and have a group together. Yeah,
it was tough for me because we bought in, I would say, we waited like 10 years before we got in for financial reasons. And then we finally said, okay, we're just going to do this. It does feel like, because my kids were little, It wasn't really for for them being little, but I definitely was thinking, well, I could share this with other people. I've been able to bring Judy and Ken have kind of been on my DVC and stuff. Friends with their kids. Yeah.
We were way after you because for the kids, you're like, oh, no, we don't really have to do this. But once the grandkid came, there was, once grandkids come, the financial considerations are not as important as when you're, when you're younger and your kids are younger. When the grandkids come, it's a different story.
Yeah, but I think if you're building relationships with your kids all along, if they've gone on vacation with you, it wasn't hard for me.
Jackie Call wants to know, other than Walt Disney World, have you been to other Disney parks and how do they compare? Yeah,
so this is a little bit of a disappointment for me. I want to get back. I've been out to California to Disneyland when I was in college. I was out there for spring break. I had a good friend that we played a lot of sports together, but his family moved to California when we just finished junior high school. And then I kept in touch with him. And I would go for 3 years in a row. I went out to California to visit him during college spring breaks. And one day we went. I was not a big Disney fan, I would say, when I was in college. I wasn't thinking about it much at all. So I don't remember it very much. I mean, the only thing I know is from all the interviews I've done with other people. So I've done a lot of interviews with all the parks. I've interviewed someone who's been to pretty much all the parks. So that is just on a bucket list, especially for Mom. She's never been to Disneyland. And I don't remember much about it. And obviously it's changed a whole lot since I was last there.
Yeah, me too. I've never been to Disneyland and I was supposed to leave Wednesday for Disneyland so it's a little bit of a sore topic, but another time. You are known on your podcast for being a lover of the Mexican Pavilion and margaritas. And Andy Hoffman would like to know, would you still visit the Mexican Pavilion if they got rid of the margaritas?
Boy, that would be a tough blow to the Mexican Pavilion. We just did a roundtable recently ranking. Randy was on that show. Maybe where that question came from. And I was really surprised. Pretty much everybody had it number 1 or number 2 ranking of all. So it's kind of cool to hear things that are my big fun things. I think I hit them pretty close for other people too, like Ohana, the Mexican Pavilion. I mean, the Mexican Pavilion still has the nachos.
Okay.
I mean, they do have beer. I'm not a big fan of the Mexican beer. I mean, when we put Mexican beer up on top of other things, I guess I could do tequila shots. that could get kind of rough. But the pavilion there is really fantastic. It's a beautiful inside of the marketplace, and I love the boat ride. I still really do love the boat ride. So it would take a big chunk. The American Pavilion might start to look a little better now that they got the barbecue and
the craft beer.
The craft beer, and they've got the show, and they got the music pavilion there. So they might overtake number 1. I think I would definitely give Mexico a hard time if they lost their frozen margaritas. Those are the best things ever. So
I know on your intro it says you never miss an 11 a.m. margarita. Heather Marie Tyson wants to know, do you ever pregame your 11 a.m. margarita?
I read that question. What's a pregame? Where could you go? That's kind of why you're anxious.
Pregame? That's like when you're in college, before you go out to a bar or a drink or party or whatever, in your room or with a whole bunch of friends, you drink first before you go to the event.
I was trying to think.
Never have anything before that.
I joke one time, with the meal plan now, you get an alcoholic beverage you get a beer or wine at the food court, like at the hotel. So I don't usually get breakfast, but I'm like, well, I've already got my coffee. I'm just going to get a beer for breakfast. I didn't drink it though. So I didn't do a pregame before 11 a.m. Yeah. And then again, technically they open up about 10:30 because of Frozen now being over there and you can get in there. So no, I have not. If it means like having a drink before I get
before
to
11, that means drink before 11.
No, I'm not that bad.
Okay, Jen Batchelder wants to know, what is the most overrated Disney snack, and why did you choose school bread in Norway? Those are her questions.
She's being sarcastic. I think someone else, it was Glenn or somebody, recently said they're not maybe it was her and someone else just said they're not a fan of school bread. Why does school bread get so much attention? And I kind of understand it because it's more bread than it is donut. If it was more donut, because I love donuts with cream inside. That's why I said the cronut. That's one of my favorites. Or a cinnamon bun. I like those kind of breakfast kind of treats. But you know what? I'm gonna catch some grief for this one. I'm gonna say Dole Whip is overrated.
That's sacrilege.
That's why I have this Dole Whip versus citrus swirl controversy in the podcast. Yeah, I bet you there's some people that kind of agree with me. I mean, it's good. I think what you're saying, it gets a lot of publicity is because it's unique. And, people now will find it in other parts of the country, I suppose, but it was unique to Disney World.
Yeah. And
it's pineapple and it's a nice frozen treat, which I love frozen treats. And I love pineapple, but as a frozen treat, I like citrus swirl better.
Well, I am on Team Dole Whip, but I have to tell you, I think part of it is the nostalgia, part of it, because I remember going to Disney, in the 70s and the 80s. That was like such a treat you could only find there.
Right.
And now you go back and that's like the thing that you do every time you go back because it reminds you of previous trips. So I think Dole Whip is not just the taste of it's just the nostalgia.
Yes. That's why I'm saying it's overrated.
All right. Okay.
She doesn't want to touch that one.
On, then.
She doesn't want to hang with me anymore.
I do not. Marissa Morris wants to know if you could only eat at one restaurant in each park ever again, which would it be and why?
Yeah, that's fun. Each park. So maybe buffets are going to dominate my choices. Okay. Magic Kingdom. Yeah, I would say Crystal Palace. I do like the food there.
Over Columbia Harbor House.
Well, yeah, that's a tough choice, but I love Columbia Harbor House, but really there's only like two things that would get there. Okay. So she said if forever, I mean, I get a lot of variety if I go to.
Okay.
I'm going to get lots of variety over at the Crystal Palace. I like the food there. Mm-hmm. Let's go to Hollywood Studios. And I'm going to go with Primetime Cafe, 50s Primetime Cafe for my dinner. That's a lot of fun. I like that home kind of food. I was debating with that and Brown Derby, but I think I like the casual atmosphere over at the 50s Primetime. And you faded away there, Wendy, in your background.
I don't know what happened.
You went to the Golden Gate Bridge, but now you're like a ghost.
Okay. I'm working on it. You keep going.
Let's see. Animal Kingdom. I'll go with Tusker House, another buffet. You can see I'm a big buffet fan. Yeah. I mean, maybe some people would say, Yak and Yeti or something, or they might, I would definitely do one of the sit downs, not Satuli. I guess you could sit down, but yeah, I like Tusker House. There's lots of variety there too. I like that and the characters.
Okay.
And then I would do, what do I got left? Epcot. Yeah. Epcot would be, I already said that would be my German buffet over in Germany. I think I'd do that one.
Okay. All right. Selena wants to know what movie or character doesn't have an attraction that you think needs one.
We did a show on this doing Imagineering. I don't think it's come out now that we're recording this recording. And I think I went into my choice for that would be the Jungle Book. And I was going to put it over near in the Magic Kingdom, kind of where the back of Adventureland, somewhere that kind of blended in with Swiss Family Robinson and something that was really jungle, that kind of thing. You could have a ride in there and that kind of stuff. So I think Jungle Book, but it's funny, we were doing that show, a couple of Heather Brainerd and Glenn Kessler were saying a Marvel movie and ride. And that's like, wow. Yeah. They have these properties that they have licensed or bought. So I think that would be a lot of fun. It would fit really well for some attractions.
What souvenirs do you usually bring back from all these Disney trips you go on?
Oh my gosh. There's so many different ones. Yeah. I mean, I'm a t-shirt big fan of t-shirts, sweatshirts, that kind of thing. I love these. They've really done great with these Tervis mugs. I got one here.
Yeah, I love that one.
I got so many.
Child, right? Yeah, that looks great.
This one's a huge one too, and it keeps your stuff really cold. So I like the coffee mugs or the Tervis. Love having those for drinks. I do. What else? I got into popcorn buckets last time. I got 3 different ones.
Oh, yeah, you had that Millennium Falcon one, right?
I got the Millennium Falcon. I was like, am I going to get that thing? Is obnoxious, but I got so many looks. People were coming up to me asking me where I got it. I bought a couple more popcorn buckets that day. I collected a little bit of artwork. We got some Rodel Gonzalez prints, and my son bought me one that's part of Old Key West from the art festival. The other thing I collect is magnets too, especially ones that have beer bottle openers. So what else do I do? Oh, the plants. I bought I get some plants. I've been doing that. So yeah, I've got a fair amount of things that I've collected. Oh, the other thing is I can't say no to when you buy a drink, you get the glass.
Right.
I'm looking at the Rancor teeth that I bought for,
Those are amazing. Have you used it since to have a beer tasting?
I have a couple of times. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's sitting over here. It's a great looking piece. And then, all the Trader Sam's drinks, glasses and stuff. I'm a sucker for all that.
So when you go to Disney, is there any one thing that you have to do, either a ride or a restaurant or any routine, before you can consider your Disney trip complete?
Well, we talked about the frozen lime margaritas and nachos. The Mexican Pavilion, that's tradition. Got to do that. I think there's some rides that are just absolutely, I would feel really cheated. Some of my favorites would be like Soarin' for sure. And some of these have lines, so you got to be careful. Tower of Terror. There's been times where, I feel like I'm late into the trip and I haven't done some of these. I get a little nervous and angsty. Splash Mountain. Sometimes you go in the winter, it's not open. That's disappointing. The funny one has been the People Mover. The line has been.
Oh, you're not kidding.
Right? I mean, what is going on at the People Mover? Just snaked lines. And I've had to walk by it and go, well, we'll get it next time. And then, I don't know, maybe next time's not going to happen. And I get a little nervous. I think we were late getting on Haunted Mansion this last trip. Like, we haven't been on Haunted Mansion. It was like Thursday of Friday of a long trip, and we hadn't been on Haunted Mansion. You're back.
I am.
So, I think those things are, I got to do a cinnamon roll of some sort.
Okay.
Got to do the Gaston cinnamon roll. That's a must do. I've got a couple of other favorites, or that big donuts. All those decadent desserts.
So those have to be checked off your list before you can say that you've had a good trip.
Yeah. And those are some of the common ones that I go back to time and time again. I always have a must-do list, and I collect them from the podcast. I write them down. I'm interviewing somebody or I'm editing and go, I got to put that on my must-do list for next time. And a lot of times they're little food things or.
Right.
Yeah.
So those are new things though.
Yeah. Yeah. Those are new things.
So I know that you have a podcast. I know that you have a travel agency. Probably talk to a lot of first-time visitors. What's the best piece of advice you can give first-time visitors to Walt Disney World?
Yeah, this is the very first thing. Well, you should get a travel agent. I'm not just saying that to say that, but if you're a first time, you've got to do a lot of research. Mm-hmm. Don't go down there thinking you're just going to wing it like you're going over to Six Flags. A lot of people think that. I have a friend that I meet with on a regular basis. He was going down and he had no idea what he was getting himself into. And you're going to be really disappointed if you haven't done your research, if you haven't done your planning, at least what we call the bones of your trip. You got to have your dining reservations. You got to pretty much have a plan of where you're going to be each day with your fast passes, because that's the other thing you're going to be disappointed with. People ask, when's the best time of year to go to Disney World? And what they're asking is when are there not going to be a lot of crowds? Now, obviously things are going to be different until we get through this current situation. But you're asking the wrong question. The question is, how do I beat the crowds? So you got to know all of your crowd beating strategies. So have a plan that has all your organized, but not like really tight so that you can't have a plan B in case something goes off schedule, off plan. Because the app is great too. You can make some plans on the fly, but you want to do early morning things to beat the crowds, get their rope drop, as we call it, use that strategy, use the dessert parties to get some exclusive time with the fireworks. There's a lot of those. Listen to the podcast. We'll tell you all of those, or your travel agency will tell you how to beat the crowds. So you're not waiting in long lines, even if you're new.
Well, that's one of the great things about the trip reports, because people that get the trip reports all have different kinds of priorities. So whether they have young children or older children or a couple's trip, and finding out the ways that they got around it, or maybe they didn't get around it and they're saying, don't do what we did. I mean, that's a real benefit to listen to those trip reports, because you really get a lot of information that you can then use for your next trip.
I think a great idea you just said, I remember the best advice I read before we went the first time was from the Unofficial Guide, which has always been a great resource. But they talked about lower your expectations about your kids. You don't know what they're going to act, especially if they're younger. You don't know how they're going to act. You don't know if they're going to be tired and acting up, and you got to have a lot of patience with the young kids. And I would say, if no matter who you're going with, and this goes back to a question we had from Megan, but ask everybody, what could we do that would make this trip successful for you? What's your top priority? Mom and Judy give me one restaurant for me to pick for the week.
And it's never Spice Red Cleveland.
Except last trip. Unless I give them one that they absolutely don't want to go to, and then we fight over it. But yeah, do as I say, not as I do, Wendy.
So Glenn Kessler had a question for you, Kurt, that I have to tell you, when I read it, I chuckled. That and Kevin Curtis Allen's one later on. His was, what is your Disney guilty pleasure? Something you love, but no one else loved. I thought that was a great question.
Did you have an answer for that one? That one's a hard one. I had to think about that for a long time, because I think people love, at least the people I hang out with, love everything about Disney World.
I do. I have an answer for myself, but the question is, what do you have an answer for?
Well, I'm going to answer it. So I had to think about this one for a long time. Again, I'm glad I had it. But the thing that I love to do that I don't think a lot of people do is I love getting up wicked early. I love the mornings. I'm an early morning riser. I have this internal clock that just doesn't turn off. I mean, it gets a little later during the week of a Disney trip, but I'm still getting up at 5:00, sometimes even earlier. And I'm like, all right, I'm awake. What am I going to do? I get up. I'm usually, some of the coffee places don't open up till like 6:00, and I'm still hanging around.
So you're starting your rope dropping at the coffee place.
Yeah, I do.
Drop the cart.
I'm usually the first one. Lately, I've noticed there's been a few other people that actually do also. But I mean, most of the families and most people on vacation sleep in. Not me. So that's my guilty pleasure is my early morning coffee walk. I enjoy seeing the cast members early doing their thing. I love mornings with the sun coming up. There's just a quietness and a dampness. There's a beauty to the mornings on the resorts. I appreciate the resort. I love the quiet time, and I enjoy walking, and I enjoy telling my story, which I do in my recorder for the podcast listeners that I release to the, now I do it to the Patreon. So I record that, and I kind of treasure those now because I'm listening back and releasing some of those from my January trip, and I'm remembering the times and listening back to that. So that time of the morning is special to me and not a lot of other people.
Okay. So the past few months have been very trying. It's been the coronavirus, the pandemic, the parks have been closed. Disney's going to reopen, and it's going to be totally different. Christy Houston wants to know, what are your thoughts on the upcoming changes, and would you plan it all like you've done before, or just wing it?
Yeah, you got to consider, everyone's making the decision for themselves. If it's worth it to go, if there's going to be restrictions. I'm trying not to give it a whole lot of thought. I don't have to give it a lot of thought. Mom and Judy are doing a lot of that for other people. it's been a frustrating time because people are changing, and Disney's not been laying it out all at once,
Right.
which has been a little bit frustrating. So we don't know when things are going to get to normal. I'm mostly thinking about February. I'm hoping that.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, wearing the mask, at first I was just wearing around at the grocery stores. I can't stand that thing. So, but I think I would definitely, I was thinking about this today too. Even if you were going into the park, maybe I'd go into the parks less and spend more time at the resort. I think I could do that. I think I could, and I wouldn't be worried that you only have to go to one park and you couldn't park hop. Okay. I could deal with that. I really want to be positive and support going back. I mean,
Yeah, I agree with that.
I personally don't have a trip. I've got a wedding to do this fall, and then we got G3 in February. So it's not, I mean, if this thing drags out to February, that's going to be really a drag. Honestly, but I hope people are positive and really do their best to get back and try to enjoy it no matter. I just think we got to be resilient and power through this thing. You can't live and be down and depressed and not do things. I think you just got to go do it the best you can.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so we had general questions, we had podcast questions, we had Disney questions, and now the heart of the matter, the geek questions.
All right.
So, what was the most memorable moment in G3, the past G3 in 2019?
There were so many, Wendy, and you were at a lot of these. Impromptu things were really cool. The fact that they were just impromptu. The Kessler, that Saturday was so much fun with the Kessler run and seeing Chris Cates, who has been a long time, big time friend of the show and mine, and seeing people meeting Glenn and Kevin for the very first time over at Wine Bar George was so much fun. There were just so many good times. But I mean, if I had to pick one, it'd have to be that Sunday, seeing the people gathering. I started getting there. Yeah, in Epcot when we were gathering out in front of the ball. I'm trying to describe that area. It's between the ball and the lake. It was nice. Ended up being kind of a nice little empty area. About quarter.
It was actually perfect.
Yeah, it ended up. Oh my gosh, the things that fell into place just by.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that Rich Brainerd, who's a professional photographer, had his iPhone who could take pictures and edit them. I mean, that picture that we took. But I'm just thinking of that time when I was getting there about 9:45. We told people about 10 o'clock. I could see one group, I could see some people that I recognized. And then there was another group and they were all kind of merging. And then there was more people coming and people were laughing and talking and having a good time. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I'm the one responsible to organize these guys, I think, too. I have a responsibility. I got to do or say something. I wasn't really prepared or thinking about that at all. The emotion of it all and meeting everybody and then getting everyone over. I was like, oh, Rich, I finally said, Rich, can you take the picture? And he's like, yeah.
He was so great. And didn't he take the back of the Geeks too? Didn't he take the regular picture? And
I thought AJ got one of those pictures.
AJ.
Yeah, there were some great little ad hoc pictures for sure.
Those are great.
And then the meeting after that, I mean, I got so emotional. I wish I had a speech prepared. That's the only thing I regret. But that was such
almost better though that you didn't, Curtis, because it was really from the heart. You could see your emotion on there. So the next G3, you can.
I was choked up. Yeah, I would have liked to have thanked more people and just introduced more people, but we'll do a better job next time.
So the next questions are a little on the silly side, but they were posted, and so I will tell you them. The first one is
from our group, silly.
From our group, can you believe it? Who was the first geek to have bought you a beer at Walt Disney World, and how much do you love her for it? That was surprisingly from Deirdre Watts.
Well, not surprising to me because I told her she was the first one to buy me a beer. That was a fun trip. I had some good meetups before G3. Actually, the very first one was at the Nomad Lounge. I don't think anybody bought me a beer there. So see, that's what I was saying. That was maybe the year before this other trip. And then we had two meetups, right? When you were involved in that too. We tried, well, it was a cold and it was
freezing.
Right.
It was at Disney Springs. Right. And we ended up we were supposed to meet at,
Jock Lindsay's,
but it was too cold.
So we ended up having one down in the cellar over that other place. And then, but this one, we were supposed to be at the Mexican Pavilion, but it was raining like torrential. So we ended up going over, is it Martha Vineyards? I think it's in the yacht club. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, Deidre Watts, she's a sweetheart. She bought me a beer. And I said, you know what? This is the first beer anyone's ever bought me.
And Rob Mederi wants to know who paid for Kurt's beer at Wine Bar George. And I just have to say that a confusion occurred about the paying for your beer at Wine Bar George, because Deirdre and I thought we paid for it, but then the waiter told us no, someone else paid for it. And the next thing you know, it was on Rob's bill. So there was a whole. Do
we even know? I thought Glenn ended up paying for it.
I have no idea. There was.
I think Glenn, but I could be wrong. But I remember I had a $20 bill and I was about to leave. I had one beer and it was about 10 o'clock and Judy was leaving. And I think I said to you and Deirdre, I said, here, should I leave money for my beer? And you're like, no, I think you said somebody's already got it.
No, I said, we have it. We asked to have it put on our bill, but when we got our bill, it wasn't there. And when we asked about it, someone else had paid for it. So
that you can say Kevin Curtis Allen has been busting me about that controversy.
I understand.
Ever since. He loves teasing me about that.
You know, in the unofficial guide to Walt Disney World, Len Tesla's book, when there's a section that said, and then some confusion happened, those are the exact words that you would need to address paying for your beer at Wine Bar George. So,
I'll never live it down.
I know it, but it's kind of good that way. Looking forward to the next G3. I know karaoke is really high on your list.
Oh, wait a minute. I got to finish actually that one.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Wendy. The reason that it's a controversy is because the waiter accused me of leaving without paying the beer. That's what it was too.
Oh, okay.
That's why it's stuck. All right. There you go. I remember that. I remember Rob telling me that.
It was just, like I said, a confusion happened. So anyways, back to the karaoke. If we get a karaoke night together for the next G3, what song would you like to sing?
We have this picnic every June at a friend's over here. He rents a karaoke machine, and the two of us, we have a heck of a time doing just loud karaoke songs and waking the neighbors. There's a couple. I think I gotta find someone that would do "I Got You, Babe."
Ah, okay.
Sonny and Cher. I think I could do a good job with that one.
You and Margita. Tell Margita just to start practicing.
She won't. I don't know. She won't. I've tried to get her. She won't do it.
So maybe it's not karaoke, but what is the activity that you're most anticipating for the next G3, February of 2021?
Well, I love all the stuff we did last time. We're kind of recreating some of those again. Those will all be fun. I'm going to try to get the mini golf tournament. It's something new. I'm kind of excited to do and try. So that's kind of a new thing we're going to try to do. And also the jelly rolls. I think the dueling pianos was a great idea. And then I think you're going to have I don't think I've ever done a monorail crawl. So to do it with all my friends will be a lot of fun too.
Okay. So the last question is from Kevin Curtis Allen.
Oh boy.
And he wants to know who is your favorite geek. And I'm thinking he wants this particular answer here.
Yeah, is he looking for an answer?
I think he is.
From the guy who wears other podcasters' t-shirts to my events. He wants to be my favorite geek, huh?
He just asked, who is your favorite geek?
Well, as the Podfather, I cannot choose all of my kids. I can't pick a favorite of all my kids. It's too hard. There's too many good. Oh my gosh, Wendy. There's so many beautiful. They're generous. They have such positivity, and they're so much fun. Lots of laughs and lots of fun. So there's no way I can pick my favorite.
Okay.
I'm not giving him that pleasure.
All right. He'll find that out himself. So, any ending words that you'd like to say?
This has been fun. I love doing these little interviews. Thank you so much for thinking of it. I want to wish all the fathers, happy Father's Day. It's a good time to think about your own father and be thankful for family. I love how the podcast, we started with my daughter, Lindsay, and we talked about Mama. We started talking about Auntie Judy. And then people started calling me the Podfather. Now, that was awkward at first. Even when I said it, I felt, and I think I had one of these 1-star reviews in iTunes that said, oh, he calls himself the Podfather. Well, I didn't do that. The listeners did that. And I said, you know what? Instead of shying away from it, I'm going to own it. So thank you so much, everybody. I love how this podcast has become the Geekin' family organically, and it truly is for me. And I think for a lot of other people, I'm so proud of it. People have made so many friends in this group. And continue to do so.
Yeah, I agree. It's been great. It's been a community. It's all positive. When you go on Facebook, there's no little snarky comments. It's people being supportive of one another and really helping one another, especially these last few months, which has been a difficult time. Disney's been closed and it's been tough, but to know that you have this community behind you has been really amazing.
Yeah, thank you. I was worried. I know Michelle Young, who's another podcaster, Disney Dream Girls. I saw her post to her group, should I take a break during this time? And I was watching all the comments come in because I was thinking the same thing. It's like, who's going to want, with all this tragic stuff going on, who wants to talk about Disney World that happens to also be closed? Is that going to be awkward to do that? And how do you keep it going? And even as late as things have dragged on, it's been a little bit difficult as we've been getting cancellations and move outs and reschedules and stuff with the travel. But the more you think about it, the more you say, no, we're just going to power on. And we're going to be grateful even more so when we get going full steam. So thank you everyone for being positive and hanging with us and enjoying. And I had a lot of that same feedback saying, and we're so glad. I get this quite often. Hardly a day goes by someone doesn't reach out to me for something, but they'll often say, thank you so much for being a positive and force and continue to do the podcast. So I love that feedback and I appreciate that.
Right. Are we good?
We're good. Thank you so much, Wendy, for hosting this interview.
And it wasn't 4 hours.
No, actually.
You did pretty well.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
Thanks again, Wendy, for interviewing me and all of your efforts in coordinating this Podfather's Day gift of the new Rodecaster Pro. You worked with Auntie Judy, I know. You're such a great organizer, and you did a great job on your interview. And I want to make you the Geek of the Week, Wendy. I'm going to send you a Starbucks coffee gift card out into the mail. So again, thanks again to Wendy for helping me out there. Thanks to Jackie Cole, Samantha Kuhn, Jen Moynihan Wynn, Michelle Herr, and Selena Roll for this week's intro. That was an intro from about a year ago. They were all together at one of my favorite places. Great to hear a live recording from the Columbia Harbor House. But that was from a year ago. So if you want to send me in more intros, I'd love to have them. Wasn't that one great last week? That was one of the cutest ones we ever had. Well, I'd love to hear some more from you guys. You can create one for us. You just get on your phone. It's fun. I can suggest what you could say. You could tell us your name, where you're from, a fun Disney World fact about yourself or a couple, and that you go geeking on Walt Disney World with Curtis and the whole Geekin' family. Send them to kurt.stone@geekinonwdw.com. That's my email. We got a Geekin' family reunion coming to Disney World on February 2021. Deidre Watts, she's a good planner too. She was posting in our private Facebook group. We have one just for this Geekin' gathering. Got 79 members there. That's so cool. I know we got a bunch of runners going to do the Princess Run. I saw like somewhere around 20 of those people. Just to give you an idea what she posted, you have to book your park for when you go down there. So we're planning on Thursday, February 18th. Magic Kingdom I'll be coming in on February 18th, a Thursday. And I'll probably go over to Magic Kingdom. That sounds like fun. And then we've got lots of things planned for Hollywood Studios on Friday, February 19th. Magic Kingdom again, Saturday, February 20th. That'll be the Kessler Run will be going on that. And then Sunday, we're going to get a big group picture together. I'm so excited to meet everybody in Epcot on February 21st, a Sunday. We'll get in front of the big ball out near the lake. And we'll get a nice big picture like we did on our last Grand Geekin' gathering. So come join us. Get excited for the February 2021 trip. Book your rooms with Mama or the other travel agents, and we'll see you down there. for the grand geeking gathering. Thanks for everyone who's been supporting us on Patreon. I'm going to have Glenn explain to you his little new spot for what patreon.com is and how you can support us.
Over the years, I've let go of my magazine and newspaper subscriptions, those daily and weekly sources of news and information about my interests. In their place, I'm so happy to have found podcasts. They educate, provide joy, and have an uncanny way of connecting us to a community. All this incredible content coming to us for free. But running a podcast does cost money, and it takes a lot of time, way more than just the hours that we get to enjoy each week. So I like to take my old magazine and newspaper subscription money and pay it forward to those podcasts that now bring me joy. I don't have to, I want to say thanks, and that I hope they'll keep doing this. Please consider chipping in just $5 yourself every month to patreon.com too, to help cover costs and show support and keep bringing new content our way. If we all gave even just a little, all the content creators we love would stick around, knowing that their efforts were appreciated. Thank you, Kurt, for all you do to bring joy and information our way. Keep it up.
Thanks so much, Glenn. I've been putting out some what I call the Inner Circle recordings. These are live recordings that I did back in January for my trip. You're going to hear a Monday morning coffee walk. You'll hear a little bit of the British Revolution. I just did this one last week. And then the new Canada movie is out there too. You hear the cast member who's leaving. She's got an emotional last performance. So those are fun. People enjoy those live recordings. A little something I do for my Patreon listeners and supporters, just to say thank you to them. And thanks again, Patreon supporters. Hey, shout out to Sarah Tomlinson. She's having a trip down to Universal Studios with her kids. She drove down from Michigan. She was on the phone with Mama as she was driving down. She didn't have a room booked in Universal Studios for the night she was driving down. And Mom got on the phone and was able, actually kind of easy. She says Universal's been a little bit easier than Disney World to get a hold of. And she got her a room in Universal Studios. So Sarah's there till today, I think. And I can't wait to have Sarah come on the show and do a trip report. I saw sisters Becca and Rachel Wright were driving down to Disney World and Universal Studios. I have a trip report coming up with them, but yeah, I think it's coming up next week, and I want to get them back on. I'm so excited to have some people go down to Disney World, get back to doing some more trip reports. I've got a couple coming for you too. I know Heather Brainer's got a trip report that I recorded that is coming out pretty soon too. I'm so committed to helping you guys enjoy your Disney World vacation. So just reach out to me if you'd like to do a trip report, book a trip, or review your plans about your trip with me. You can email me at kurt.stone@geekinonwdw.com. Thanks again for going geeking on Walt Disney World with us. We really appreciate you listening and geeking with us every single day. We love you, geeks. Have a magical day. Hang in there, and I hope all your dreams come true. Yeah, it looks, we got a lot of questions.
We do.
That's good.
Yeah. A lot of them are from the Geeks. I try to put the person's name who asked the question, so
yeah,
we can mention that.
Hair in my mouth.
Uh-oh. So it's a beautiful day today. I'm sure it was gorgeous in Connecticut, too.
Yes, it was. Yeah. I didn't get out too much.
No. You're working from home, right?
Yeah, indoors working.
Wow. Did you get out for a walk at all? Or?
I do. Yeah, I got almost my 10,000 steps.
Good.
9,000.
Okay.
That was nice.
You still have a little time to finish up.
Yeah.
I don't know. Depends how grueling this interview is.
Well, you know the questions. It can't be so bad.
Some of them were hard.
Right?
Some of them were tough.
Yeah.
I had to really think. I'm glad I had them ahead of time.
Okay.
Try to do my best.
All right. Well, I added that little rapid fire section in. What do you think of that?
Yeah. I'm game for anything.
Okay. I thought that was kind of...
You're in charge.
Uh-oh. We're in trouble.
I'm giving you the keys to the podcast.
Okay. All right. Well, tell me whenever you're ready. Oh, what are you drinking?
This is peach iced tea I've been into. Crystal Light peach.
All right. Well, I poured myself a generous glass of wine to get started.
I was thinking maybe you're nervous and you'll need a little spirit.
I think I was just looking for an excuse to pour a glass of wine
Oh, there you go.
during the week.
Nice.
So, all right. Well, tell me whenever you're ready and we'll get going.
I'm ready. You're going to kick it off? Because I'll put an intro on top of it too. So
Okay.
I think I can edit this and get it in. You want me to get it in for this week, right? For Father's Day?
That's your call.
I think I'm going to try.
Okay.
Although I have another one
I was
halfway.
going to say you have the part, because I listened to the first part. You have the second part from your round table.
Oh,
You
okay.
have to decide what to do.
We're going to have to interrupt that round table to do a Father's Day special.
Okay.
I think I might do that. Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
And it's got you a couple more weeks towards when Disney finally opens.
Yeah. Yeah.
That'll be good.
Hope things, start. I don't know. I just hope it just starts. Everything safely gets going and do not just Disney World, but everything.
I know. I mean, we're in New York State, and tomorrow we actually start phase 3, which is, I'm trying to think what it is. Restaurants. You can now start to go to a restaurant starting tomorrow.
Outside?
And no,
Inside.
Outside started.
Okay.
It was supposed to be outside and inside together this week, but New York had been doing so well. Last week, Governor Cuomo just decided that now you can have outside. And no one was ready for it, but now you'll be able to go inside at 50% capacity. And I think like personal services like nail salons and spas, those are the next thing. And
Okay.
a lot of stores that hadn't opened yet are now getting there retail wise. So I don't know about Connecticut, but
Yeah, I think retail wise, I think we're pretty much open.
okay.
I've been going to different stuff without. I don't know. I've done a lot of. Well, yeah, like those WalMarts and stuff were all open already.
Right, because those were essential.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I go to the little pet store I've been going to. It's been open all the time, pretty much
Sure.
too. So.
And Florida still will not allow us to visit, though. Kurt, you and I are persona non grata. No New York, New Jersey, or Connecticut visitors.
Which is really, I don't know. Your area, was it hit as hard as New York City?
It wasn't hit as hard as New York City, no. But if you are a Floridian, I think you think of New York as one entity.
Yeah.
I think you just think it's New York City and that's it. And
Yeah.
I think there was just a ban on New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut. And right now, New York and New Jersey, I think Connecticut is with them, are doing so well, yet we're banned from visiting Florida, which I think is interesting. So hopefully the ban will be lifted at some point.
Especially my area of Connecticut, which wasn't hit very hard.
Yeah.
It'd be more, I guess. I don't know that Connecticut was hit very hard. I'm surprised we were actually in that.
Yeah, tri-state
Group,
area
yeah.
thing. Yeah.
They just grouped us in there, but obviously Stanford, that's closer to New York, but
Yeah.
up here, I mean, it was pretty limited. I was never concerned.
Yeah.
I never had any concern whatsoever going and doing stuff. But
Okay.
that's me.
All right. Well, it was so good to talk to you.
You too. Thank you. You're so good.
And look forward to hearing it. And hopefully we'll have good news moving forward.
Hey, are we going to do a meetup, you think?
Yes, as soon as you think we can schedule it. I actually am meeting up with Samantha on Saturday. Samantha Kuhn texted me.
She's
that
great.
She's going to be up visiting her parents in my area.
Oh.
And we want to get together, so we're going to get together, I think, on Saturday. So the two of us are. But
She's awesome.
Whenever you think it's safe, like I didn't want to put it out there until people
No,
feel
I know.
safe to travel,
I know. Maybe later in the summer or September or something.
Yeah, hopefully before the summer's over.
Although Judy's going to Disney in September.
But maybe August or maybe before the summer's over.
You know what? I posted, I saw some people posting that they booked The Princess. I couldn't believe how fast that thing sold out.
Yeah.
Like amazing. I didn't realize it would sell out that fast. But we had like 15, 16 people say they're going from our group.
Yeah.
Which means that just, maybe I should book, I always have a run Disney event as part of my get-togethers because that just, makes more of an incentive.
Yeah.
With the runners. But boy, there's probably maybe going to be like 20 runners from our group. Plus, we could really hit 100.
I think we might. So I'm
There's
actually planning to go in November if things go well. If it's not a second wave and that whole thing. I have a November trip planned, and one of the things I want to do in November is to figure out the monorail crawl. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to take that trip so that I can get things solidified for that event.
Recon.
I am doing recon.
Sounds like a fun one.
So,
who are you going with in November?
My husband and another couple.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Although the interesting thing is I have a park ticket and my friend has a park ticket. John can't renew his annual pass.
Okay.
And my friend's husband can't buy a ticket now. So we're hoping that we can, because now you can't, we're hoping we'll be able to buy tickets and make reservations for the park.
Yeah, right.
Everything's up in the air right now.
Maybe it'll relax more. If things go well, November will probably relax a little bit from these strict things. Yeah. Well, good luck with all that. Stay in touch, all right?
All right. And we'll plan on an August meetup.
All right.
Things go well.
Yeah, I like that. Definitely.
Okay, sounds good. All right. Thanks, Kurt.
Thanks, Wendy.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.